Hi guys, and welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to be talking all about gray horses, and there are 21 of them in the game between story and online, which is crazy. 2 of them are a bit questionable for the gray category, and I did leave out any horse that had blue in the name or looked more blue to me, but we'll see if you agree with my choices. Without further ado, let's get into it. For this video, I decided to list the horses in the order that you would see them in the horse menu in the stables online, and that means we're going to start with riding horses and work our way all the way down to the superior class. I'm also going to keep my talking to a minimum, so I'm going to say what the horse is, maybe talk about the mane, tail, or saddle, but I'm really just going to keep it very minimalist and let you just see the horses in this one. First up is this gray Kentucky Saddler, and this horse is available both online and in story. As a matter of fact, online, it's one of the first horses that you could get in that first mission, and it's pretty easy to find in story as they're in the wild all over the place. I actually fell in love with this horse when I was getting footage, especially with this saddle. This is one of my favorite saddles that you can find online, and this horse is just absolutely cute as a button. Next up is the light gray Shire. This horse again is available both in story and online, and it is the biggest horse that you can purchase. For this one, I do like to keep the natural mane and tail. I really like the way the bangs fall over the face, and I think the color complements as well. Next up, we're going to move into the Thoroughbred category. Now, I did end up skipping the Nakota category, and I was a little torn, not sure I made the right call on the reverse Dapple Nakota, especially because I do include the reverse Dapple Thoroughbred, and I'm just not sure. What do you guys think? Which category would you put each of those 2 horses in? Because I'm not really sure. They don't quite fit gray or black, and I was leaning toward blue for the reverse Dapple Nakota. Again, not sure I made the right call, but in any case, the first Thoroughbred up is the gray Thoroughbred. This one is so cute. I like to use the Outlaw Pass mane and tail on it because I'm not a huge fan of the base mane. And you'll see I'm using the same saddle that I use on a lot of my light color gray horses. I think that pink is super cute with them. Absolutely love it. So here you go, the gray Thoroughbred, found both online and in story. The next Thoroughbred is the Brindle Thoroughbred, and this horse has a very unique pattern in my opinion. It's available both story and online. Now, I did capture this footage with John in the story, so I left the mane and tail as the base mane and tail that you get when you purchase the horse. However, if I am getting this horse online, I do like to change it over to black and put a black tousled mane and a long black tail on it because I think the contrast is super pretty. Finally, for the Thoroughbreds, we have the reverse Dapple. Now, this is the one that I wasn't sure if I should include or not. It's not really a gray horse, but I couldn't figure out quite what color it is. It doesn't really belong in the black horse video. I'm not sure there's any other video that I would include it in, so I think this is probably the closest one. I actually really love this horse. It's got a super cute, unique pattern. I know a lot of people don't like it, but even the stripe on the face is very unique. And this is a unique horse in itself. You can only get it in story, and you can only get it if you have the special edition or the ultimate edition. So the reverse Dapple Thoroughbred is part of the special edition bonuses that you got. There's a couple of things. There's like some weapons, some outfits, and then this Thoroughbred is part of the special edition. And if you get the ultimate edition, you get everything from the special edition plus the ultimate edition content as well. So again, this is a unique horse in story. You can pick it up for free at the Valentine stables. If your horse dies or you sell it, you can always repurchase it again in Valentine. Okay, next up is the warhorse category, and that brings us to the Ardennes. And this is another super unique horse. It is available only in story, and it is only available, or was only available, as a pre-order special. So I actually didn't pre-order the game, but I lucked out and was able to get a code because I purchased a physical copy of the game, and the physical copies for pre-orders had not all sold out. So even though I got mine a few weeks after the game had released, I lucked out when I opened the box up, there was a code inside. Now, I'm not sure if they've added this horse in later. Let me know in the comments section if you purchased the game recently and if you have access to this horse. You're gonna find the gray Ardennes in the Valentine stables. At the same time, you can find the reverse Dapple Thoroughbred if you have the special edition. So after that mission with Hosea, when you go in there, that this is going to be a horse that is available if you have the pre-order code, or if it's available now. Like I said, I actually, when I had to reload this game, did not have access to this until I re-put my code in. So I think it's still a unique horse where if you didn't get it as a pre-order, you don't have access to it. And that's a bummer because the gray Ardennes is definitely my favorite Ardennes. It's super pretty. It's got that nice gray coat with the contrasting black mane and tail, the black legs with the black feathering, and I think it is absolutely gorgeous. It is such a shame that this horse isn't available online or for people that purchase the game nowadays because it is so cute, and it's a really great horse too. Next up in the warhorse category, we have the gray Hungarian Halfbred. This is another really decent sized horse. It's one of the bigger ones available. So if you're playing online and you have a male character, it's a really good size for a male character and female characters alike. You can find this horse both in story and online. You can see here I'm using my favorite saddle for gray horses again, and I'm actually using a braided mane on this one. This is my secondary account, so I don't have access to those Outlaw Pass manes because I do really like the frayed mane. That's kind of the gray and white on this horse, looks really good. And the problem is the Wild Tail doesn't quite have a gray and white option, but there is one version that looks a little bit better where it's white up top and then it's kind of a lighter black toward the bottom, so that one looks really good too. But again, this is the Hungarian Halfbred, available both story and online. Last up in the warhorse category, we have the rose gray Andalusian. And I'm not gonna lie here, any of the rose gray horses tend to not be my favorite, and it doesn't matter what breed it is. I'm not sure why that is, maybe because the coats have kind of that pinkish hue to them. I'm not sure, there's just something about them, the color contrast. A lot of times they've got socks, like white socks, and I just don't really love how the coat looks. It just looks kind of muddied to me. But this is the rose gray Andalusian. Andalusians are actually really great solid horses. I've owned this one, I've owned the Perlino, I've owned the darker red one, and they are all actually really great horses, whether you're going into bounties, you're going hunting. So I definitely recommend it, and if you like this kind of lighter grayish color with the pinkish hue, this can be a really good option to try out. This horse is available both in story and online. Next up is the workhorse category, and there's actually only one gray horse in this category, and that is the gray Overo American Paint. This horse can be found both in story and online. As a matter of fact, it's actually Javier's horse in story, but you can also purchase it as well. This is a really great horse. I love the American Paint. In this first clip here, I'm actually doing this from story mode, so I'm kind of showing a natural black mane and tail on this horse. And then in the second clip, I'm showing you the online version where I use one of the sleek manes and the wild tail, which I think goes really great with this horse. So I wish everybody had access to these Outlaw Pass manes and tails because they really can change the horse a lot. But even if you're going with the base kind of black mane and tail, super pretty horse. It is a little bit on the smaller side. So if you have a male character, not everybody's gonna love that. It's not as small as an Arabian, but it is definitely a small horse for male characters. Okay guys, I'm gonna go ahead and end this video right here, and I'm gonna split this and make it a two-part series. Initially, I was going to try to put all the gray horses into one video, but there are a lot of gray horses. I still have something like 11 more to cover, and I love that because first of all, gray horses, especially dapple gray, are super pretty. I love the representation and all the different breeds. Like, there's a ton of different breeds that have some type of a gray horse, and that's fantastic, because what I really wanted Rockstar to do was for every breed just to have a color and pattern wheel and have a lot more customization. Even if it's not super realistic, I'd love it if just, let's say I want to have a Dutch warm blood, I can pick the base coat, I can pick if there's a pattern, I can pick if the horse has a stripe or a star on its face, or if it has white socks or not. And so that kind of customization would have been fantastic. Since we don't have that, having such a variety of gray horses is really fantastic because there are so many different breeds that you can pick from here. However, that does make for a very long video. So I'm going to stop it here. In part 2, I'm going to pick up, we're going to cover all the multi-class horses that are gray. I think, like I said, there's about 11 of them. We'll go through all those and we'll just, again, make it a two-parter. If you enjoyed this video, I'd appreciate it if you give it a like. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.